to circle all the way back to the beginning of the podcast, how our thoughts and how our ideas influence our fucking action. Whether you are the person who is creating the thought and advancing it, or whether you are the fucking victim of the miseducation and the brainwashing that has come as a result of your education process through these fucking institutional learning facilities, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? These ideas directly impact and influence our fucking lived experience, our lived reality. And it's these ideas that I'm seeking to try to at least counter. I'm not trying to change your mind, but I'm at least trying to offer you a fucking alternative, man. A different view of history, right? A different view of our present, a different fucking approach to philosophy in general, but all of education as a whole. And again, doing so is going to be inherently fucking identitarian because of my Chicanx disposition, okay? And because of that, it may seem as though that I am being fucking unfair or unjust to the people who created the systems that we're currently find ourselves enmeshed in. But if you would allow me, please, just one last motherfucking quote before I shut this bitch down. To justify, if you will, not that I need to, right? But to further justify the point that I'm attempting to establish. And it goes as follows. This is a direct quote, okay? The quote states, "Vulgar, racist hostility against Mexicans was a staple of newspapers, magazines, and scholarly journals, especially between 1926 and 1930, when public hearings were conducted in House and Senate committees on Mexican immigration. Those in favor of restricting immigration represented various patriotic societies like the current motherfuckers, these fucking United Patriot assholes, fuck them, right? Eugenicist organizations, I should state, and a significant sector of organized labor." Bro, there's going to be a point, if it hasn't happened yet, when you start to realize that the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, right? All this identitarian politics is deep as fuck, man. I could spend a whole podcast, I could spend a whole semester talking about just those things right there, but I'm not going to, right? For now, let's keep it simple. The quote, this is from a textbook actually, and I'll give you the other quote that I was going to try to get to, states, "Patriots and eugenicists argued that Mexicans would create the most insidious and general mixture of white, Indian, and Negro blood strains ever produced in America, and that most of them were quote-unquote hordes of hungry dogs and filthy children with faces plastered with flies, human filth. They are promiscuous, apathetic peons and lazy squaws who prowl by night, stealing anything they can get their hands on." A professor of zoology at the University of California characterized Mexican immigrants as Indian peons without the quote-unquote trace of Caucasian blood, who were ignorant, tractable, moderately industrious, and content to endure wretched conditions of life which most white laborers would not tolerate. His conclusions were that Mexicans were a menace to public health. Notice they're fucking citing a zoologist here, okay? This is in a House hearing in the Senate committee, to remind you, and they fucking brought a zoologist in to fucking talk about it. That's how little they fucking think about us, bro, right? And it's so upsetting, but I'll continue, okay? His conclusions that were Mexicans were, again, a quote-unquote menace to public health, a serious burden upon our charities, of low mentality, fuck you, Stefan Molyneux, okay? Inherently criminal, and therefore a degenerate race that would afflict American society with an embarrassing race problem. This is from the book Youth, Identity, and Power by Carlos Munoz. And the reason I say fuck you, Stefan Molyneux, yet again, once more, is because he's a fucking quote-unquote philosopher, another fucking shitstick that fancies himself a fucking philosopher, right? Of the ilk of Jordan Peterson, who basically just recently repeated the same thing in regards to justification of immigration reform, right? But I'll talk about that fucking shitstick later. For now, the basic point is simple. These are the people who created the laws that we are currently fucking using to justify our current fucking immigration status, what we determine to be the issues along the border, etc., and so on and so forth. For those of you motherfuckers who are sitting here trying to reduce me and my fucking hood philosophy to identity politics, seriously, fuck you, okay? For those of you who think that it's a matter of, it's that I'm fucking that race is an issue that can never be solved, I'm sorry, man, but it's just, you have to understand the historical underpinnings of where this shit is coming from in order for the opinion to be relevant, right? Those of you who think that history is over and history is settled, bro, maybe we should take a look back and see how the fuck our current historical trajectory, where it got its fucking roots from, and how that shit is probably most likely, unless you're taking a step to desocialize yourself, subliminally driving the fucking actions and all the ideas that you have in your head right here at this moment.